Do you think that 100K as a salary is enough to live in Canada?
No, not at all.
That was so fast.
Not at all. Vancouver for sure, 250 if you want to live comfortably.
Probably in Canada, but not in Vancouver.
I think it is. That's about what I make, and I can afford to live in Canada. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't think so, especially Vancouver, no.
Considering rent and prices of everything, 100K can be a little tight.
Yes, I think so.
It's tough for 100K for sure.
I think it should be, like, to live a comfortable life. Would you feel rich if you made 100K?
Rich? No, but I'd have a comfortable living. Yeah, I would say that.
I don't think so.
It's not enough to buy a house.
Not rich, but I think you can survive.
I don't feel rich.
I don't think so. I mean, you could probably pay your bills, but if you want to do anything, like if you want to experience Vancouver, you're going to need money to do that.
Definitely not.
No. No.
I don't know if I'd feel rich, but I would feel more comfortable. If 100,000 isn't enough to like feel rich or feel comfortable, who is Canada actually affordable for?
Well, I think outside of the big cities, there's still a lot of very affordable places to live, but
True.
Vancouver is just not one of them.
Rich people, not the working class or the middle class.
No one. I think obviously the rising cost of living and like obviously in the last couple of years, it's gotten more expensive. Like you're getting groceries, rent skyrocketed too. I don't think it's very affordable.
Being, a younger generation, it feels unfortunate because we work so hard and 100K is a lot of money. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money, but it doesn't go very far nowadays.
I don't know. Certainly not me. Probably the older generation. Yeah.
100K will get you quite far in Canada, but not in Vancouver. It's a tough place to live, but it's very pretty.
Definitely not for us just starting out working.
How much do you pay in rent or mortgage, if I may ask?
$3,000 a month.
I pay $19.50.
I pay about $3,000 a month.
Just under $3,000 per month.
Around $1,500.
2,400.
Around $1,500 for rent?
Roughly $1,500 each. So total like $3,000.
Would you ever consider moving to a smaller town outside of Vancouver to save money, even if it meant a pay cut or changing your job?
Not this moment, no.
Yeah, I do that.
I'm from a small town and it's nice if you want to raise a family. But other than that, there's not a lot of benefits to it, in my opinion.
Probably not. I think most of the jobs are here.
I wouldn't say at this stage in my life. I think the opportunities and living in a city and having your friends around is pretty valuable right now.
No. Never.
I'm a big city girly at heart. I moved from Kelowna, actually, which is a smaller city. And moving here, you just have to work harder and make more money, which I love. It's a hustle city.
I would definitely, because I have done that. I've lived in small town Canada and it's great. And if I was just starting out, I would 100% consider it. In fact, I would encourage people to give it a try.
If you suddenly started making 100K a year, what would you change about your life?
I probably wouldn't shop at No Frills anymore. When it comes to like groceries, I'm always looking for like the cheapest available. I think if I was making 100K, I'd feel more comfortable like spending money on groceries and maybe like go on more vacations. I love to travel, so that's probably what I'd say. Yeah.
I would keep things the same for the foreseeable future. I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes people make is when they start making more money, they upgrade their lifestyle.
I think I'd probably look into investing it or saving it a little bit.
Is making around 100K different than how you expected?
Yeah, it felt like you would go a lot further for sure. And it doesn't go as far as you think. Everything's still expensive.
I mean, I make more than that, but if I was starting out again and I was trying to build towards that, I would say don't adjust your lifestyle, try to save the money. That's what I did and allowed us, my wife and I and our family, to be, mortgage free, perhaps more early in our career than most people have been, but that was just a trade-off for us.
Looking forward 5 years in the future, do you think that 100K will still be considered a decent salary?
It'll be decent. In 10 years' time, it won't be that much. Yeah.
No,
100K would be like, I don't know, like 60, 70K.
salary.
Yeah. Well, not base salary, but like it'll be worth like 60, 70K or something. Yeah.
Probably not, but it seems to be going down. Maybe the 100K in 5 years will be $125,000.
Yeah, I think so for the most part of Canada. I think with 100K, especially for a single person, depending where you live, I think you can make that work if you're, not a crazy spender or whatever.
I'm not very optimistic about 100K becoming more valuable in a couple of years.
I think for some people, yeah. But yeah, with inflation and stuff, I think it's going to keep going up. Everything's getting more expensive. So no, I don't believe so.
I mean, it's hard to say. I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the trends, every single year, things just get more and more expensive. So I would say 5 years from now, it'll definitely be worth less.
I think it will, because I think a lot of people make less than that and will aspire for that amount of money. I think it is a lot of money still. But again, depending on where you live, that will determine whether or not that's adequate to support your lifestyle.
I think it would be a less decent salary in the future, but not necessarily bad.
So is 100K enough, or is Canada just becoming a playground for the rich? Drop your hot takes in the comments. We want to hear from renters, home buyers, dreamers, and even broke hustlers. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to hear more real talk from the streets.